Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a two-man episode of The Good
Game,
Guys.
guys. Yeah,
Yep.
we didn't talk about how that was going to work.
Yeah, but hey, at least it worked.
Fair.
So yeah, as I said, right now we're kind of doing a two-man episode for the moment. Dan strangely started developing some bit of eye strain, like a eye strain headache kind of deal.
Well, that's no good.
Yeah, so right now he's back at his house. He's kind of laying down, trying to at least kind of get rid of it. But he said if he starts feeling any better during the showtime, he's definitely going to try and call in. Because
Alright.
we had a segment set up for him basically talking about some of the microtransactions that have been going on lately with some of the games.
Right.
And River, on the other hand, is just late as sort of usual.
Right.
Like, we sort of expect that out of him these days.
Well, every Friday anyway.
I don't know if I can necessarily blame him completely, because it is traffic. Like, traffic around here, around this time, it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I mean, while they got the freeway construction going on.
They've actually been making some good progress on that lately. Like, they actually have, like, two openings for the northbound, I believe.
Well, okay, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. I mean, like,
It doesn't mean a whole lot, but it helps.
the road's fucked. And they're just making it worse.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty then, so go ahead and get that notification out there for people. A little behind the scenes work right now, folks.
Yay, Steam notification.
That's how it works. I let everyone else talk, that way I can do all the technical stuff.
Alright. Yeah, but, like, I'm the only other person here and I don't really have shit to talk about.
I guess that's kind of good news for me then, because I got some shit to kind of get into.
Oh.
Especially since I kind of want to start off with you how you bitched out so hard with Life is Strange.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call it bitching out. It's more a matter of I can't take how bad this is.
Dude, I was telling you, you probably have to play that game as the biggest dick ever. Like, that probably is the best way you can have fun in that.
Sure. But it was also more of a chat's call. There were a bunch of people in chat that were basically like, do anything else.
Were they? Because I was sitting there in the chat, and I know they were kind of talking a little shit here and there, but mostly just, like, with some of the stuff going on within the game. Myself included.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Hikari, life is Tumblr.
Few of them were bringing morale pretty low.
Yeah. Well, that kind of sucks. Dude, I honestly say you should probably start the game from beginning again, and I'm telling you, play the dick.
Lol.
Be
Be the bad guy.
Be evil as fuck. Like, don't narc on the dude with the gun. Tell them you
Right.
need security cameras. Take a picture of that bitch as she's covered in paint.
Yeah, I might have to. Might have to. As soon as I run out of worthwhile games to play.
Right on.
'Cause I started doing LA Noir.
Yeah, I caught a little bit of that. When I showed up, I think you recently just got into Homicide.
Yeah. Yeah, you were showing up as I was close to calling it quits.
Story of my life, right?
Right?
Oh, man. So, you gonna pick up on that after tonight's show?
I'm pretty damn tired. I think I'm going to like not really head to bed after the show, but like just kick back.
Right.
My sleep schedule has been wacky. Like I got up at 5 this morning.
Dude, I was up till about 6 myself. I don't even know how the fuck I was up.
No, I mean I woke up at 5.
Oh, I hear you. Hey, the chat's coming alive. Sweet.
How about that?
Positive changes. We're down 2 people. We have a whole chat room.
Lol.
Oh, man. So, Dag. I guess just kind of moving on to some of the other stuff I've done this week. So I had a pretty awesome time at Shadowrun.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so I actually kind of took a bit of what you said more to heart this time around because it kind of dug in like a little more.
Right.
Like with the idea of trying to focus more on what you're good with and maybe make it better.
Yeah.
And oh, hang on. Dan's trying to ask if he can come in to ruin things. I don't know. Let's see how his microphone sounds over at his house.
All right.
See how this shit works.
Let's see if it works. You mean?
Right. Hey.
So yeah, you guys hearing me okay?
Yeah, we hear you pretty good.
Alright. Well,
So you feeling better, man?
meh. It's just...
Fucking Nikari. Oh, man.
I was listening in on the show and I forgot when I called in I had to mute that so I don't double hear myself.
Oh, yeah.
Delays. Yeah, I just called in because I'm laying down. I found a setup that works. I could call from my bed at least.
All right.
Dude, I need to get a setup like that. What the fuck?
Lol.
Lucky bastard.
It's like, I don't know, you have that dresser on the other side of your bed. If you swap that with your computer desk, you could just do that.
I guess I could, huh? Anyway, so, yeah. Since I was about to get into some Shadowrun stuff. Oh, great.
Don't let me interrupt anything.
No, other things are interrupting right now.
Well, that happens.
Okay. Right, so Shadowrun. So yeah, wound up kind of cracking through the books a little bit more and found a couple programs that I was missing. Mostly just the ICE programs, if I recall, Doug.
Okay.
And pretty much picked up as high grade as I probably could for the moment. And you were helping me out with some of the Unwired pages, mostly with like the viruses.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to read through all that to see how it works, how it all works.
I know you were pretty impressed with that. Like, you suddenly got excited.
Like, oh look, there's a whole lot more shit that they were missing out of the core rules that would make sense to have.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, basically we want to picking up some of the programs that we're missing, and storyline-wise, we get like some random coordinates sent to our PDAs and stuff, and it turns out to be like the Shadow Corp that's been kind of watching us lately, this sort of mentoring us kind of deal. And the guy that comes in basically tells us that there's about to be an operation going down where they need to rescue one of their captured dudes from, I guess, like their rival corp. I'm not entirely sure what you'd call it, but their name is basically the Syndicate, right?
Okay.
So we go into the whole situation, right? And while we're flying in the dude's chopper, I basically ask him access for like their botnet, because I was also reading about the whole thing about you could send up a DDoS attack and that'll lower down the responses for when you try and hack in.
Mm-hmm.
So as we find out, there's already a team about to go in to breach in to break into the area, right?
Oh, great.
So we're the B team.
Of course you are.
So A team goes in and actually manages to take out a bunch of the security guards. However, they didn't factor in there was a cyborg in there, like straight up Ed 2109.
Mm-hmm.
Which managed to kick the rest of A team's ass out completely, but causing a couple explosions to damage itself, if I recall correctly. I know I got the DM in here, so he can help correct me as far as we go.
Lol. With a 30-second delay? Sure, why not?
Yeah, he could probably call in if he really wants. But anyway, yeah, moving right along. So, managed to set up that DDoS attack to get myself into their security programs to start, or security system rather, and start feeding intel to everyone saying, there's a guard there, go shoot him, kind of deal.
Right. Basically highlighting people on their AR.
As you put it, acting like Quiet in Metal Gear.
That's basically your job.
Fucking Ikari.
Well, yeah. that sort of shit happens.
Yeah. So anyway, as combat kind of goes on, like I just hang out in the chopper with the guy jacked into the security program, and they're taking out guards left and right. Um, what was it? I'm trying to remember the chain of events because the the guy that was in charge of that facility was basically holding the guy we need to rescue as hostage, right? And that's right. That's what happened. So our rigger decided to move the drone right up close to the dude and start firing at point blank. And this
Okay.
guy basically had like stunned arm or some pretty decent armor and stuff. So the bullets weren't penetrating him, but they were still causing enough stun damage.
Okay.
And the fucking officer, I guess we'll pretty much call him, rolled pretty shitty. So he got knocked out by a fucking drone with like an AK shooting at him at point blank.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so moving right along there, like we kind of start figuring out what we need to do because we get the feeling that Ed 2109 is still like sort of active. So everybody suggests, maybe we should hack into that thing, right? So eventually I wind up doing that, and I kind of sneak in there undetected under a user account. And I kind of figure, you know what, fuck it, I want this thing dead. So I run that Black Ice program, right?
Okay.
Or the Black Hammer, I should say.
Oh, right. Okay.
And wind up,
You started playing with hammers.
yeah.
Oh boy.
So I wound up whipping out that Black Hammer and just straight up like got a sneak attack on him because he didn't detect me in his system at all. And as the GM put it, what was it? I got like 7 hits on the dude. He hit the little brain canister that was used to operate the machine, basically exploded into like a bowl of soup.
Well, excellent.
So we have a cyborg now, or at the moment.
Rain canister?
Yeah, that's how it was described to me. Actually, he's messaging me right now. Let me fucking add him real quick. Here we go. Let's get him in. Because this shit gets kind of funny. Hey, Seawall.
Hello.
Hey, man.
I do apologize for the quality of mic. I'm at my field location right now.
Ah.
Yeah, no worries, man. So, yeah, you want to fill in everyone on after the soup incident?
Okay, I'm going to rewind a little bit to the soup incident. I was going like, I actually said, are you sure you want to use Black Hammer?
Yeah, that sounds like an appropriate question to ask.
Honestly, I was looking at it like, you know what, fuck it, I want to kill this thing.
And actually, his character was detected, but he had an option on his exploit program that gave him 1 combat turn to be unnoticed.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay.
So he souped the thing in one shot.
Well, he took full advantage of that scenario.
Yeah. He souped the thing. And then they finished. Then there's only like 2 guys outside, and basically, I just at that point said, you know what? I don't want to take another 5 rounds for them to try and kill these guys. So, helicopter gunship, exploding grenades. Hooray! Victory is theirs.
Rocks fall, everyone dies.
Yes. And then you decide to walk this thing out and say, and tell the helicopter, hey, look what I got. And he just looks down and says, you got a what?
Yeah, so, because basically I'm in fucking control of that thing, right?
Yeah. He also took control of the network, which gave them enough time to raid the armory and the guy's stuff, load it all up on the chopper, which slowed down the chopper, and they flew back to base. And just for shits and giggles, I put a couple of the, I don't know if he's told you about some of the various powerful NPCs that have been following them around.
I haven't mentioned any of them just yet.
Okay. A couple of them were at this base. They were just looking at the helicopter coming in with this cyborg that's missing an arm hanging beneath it, slowly turning their head to the right.
Okay.
I believe my exact words as they were looking at me was, I came, I saw, and I kicked its ass.
Right.
Oh, God. And then just immediately right there, didn't one of your characters try to buy it off of us?
Yeah, as you guys have been calling him, Vegetable McGee, tried to buy him off. Wanted to buy him.
wanted to buy the cyborg thing?
Yep.
For what price? Where's the face in all this? Like,
He offered kind of roughly what its normal cost would be, and I brought in a quick NPC face to negotiate. But yeah, the model that in question they got, because what I was fully expecting them to do was, I was expecting him to take control of shit, and then they saw this thing coming online, and they would call the helicopter guy in to blow it up.
but
I wasn't
instead,
expecting them to steal it.
well, now you know.
Yes. And they flew off with this thing. Yeah, and then they learned some other scary things about it, like all identifying marks and RFID tags are missing.
Lol.
And,
We're also in the unique position of trying to figure out how much money we got selling most of the armory.
I'm working on it still.
Still, Jesus.
So yeah, Dag, in short, I thank you for this. We're getting paid.
Lol.
I tip my hat to you, good sir, and I hope I never meet you in a dark alley.
Right? Like, here's how a Decker is supposed to work.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm actually.
To the chat asking roughly the price, I think you guys settled on 425,000 for it because it was pretty beaten up.
In a group of how many?
5.
Wow.
Yep.
Alright.
Yep. I play things a bit differently than traditional Shadowrun. I do a little bit more rocket fuel and meth.
Fair.
Yeah.
So,
yes. The normal price for this suit is 350,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you know what, screw it, because they did such a good job. I actually put some cool things. Yeah, this little cyborg, it was built to be self-sufficient and be dropped from an aircraft.
Oh.
And it's larger than a troll in full military armor.
Fair.
Yes. So yeah.
Well, okay, guys. Sell it. Retire.
Well, shit. I don't know if I want to retire. I want to have some more fun. Damn it.
Go get your sin burn first.
Oh man.
Running around with a sin. How could you?
I didn't know any better.
Dumbass.
Oh, Dig, I've played characters with sins. I know how to pull it off.
Well, yeah, but we're not talking about your character.
Yep.
So, Dag, you want to join in on some of the crazy shenanigans that goes on in Shadowrun?
Lol. Am I being invited to this game?
I don't know. Seawall, are you willing to accept that as an official invite?
What would you like to play? That's the question.
Fuck if I know. I have to look over it again. What all's in the party already? You have
Technomancer,
a rigger, you have a decker, technomancer.
Let's see. They've got the medic with the shotgun, the sneaky sniper, and then what was the last? Okay, I think I'm missing someone.
I think
Nope.
Red. Did you get Red?
Yeah, Red, the mage.
Yeah, we
Alright.
did lose one of the extra mages that we had.
Yeah.
For reasons I probably shouldn't get into on the show.
Yes,
Good.
time conflicts. We'll go with that.
Yeah, it'd be in
Alright.
bad taste.
Timing conflicts. That's the official story, and I'm sticking to it.
Fair enough. I'll have to think about it. Like, I would normally play a decker type, but that role is already full. So I'll have to think about it. We can talk more after the show.
Alright, that sounds good.
Otherwise, aside from Shadowrun, what else did you get up to?
Alright, and I guess I kind of want to keep Seawall here, because I know he's a huge Star Wars fan, so I gave Battlefront a try.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay, so what did you think so far?
It felt like Battlefield 4 with a Star Wars skin on it.
See, I don't know if I could really ever say, like, comfortably say it was a Battlefield clone, like, at least nowadays, because Battlefront to me always was a Battlefield clone.
Okay, aside, of course, from Battlefront having all of these additional quirks, I guess you could say, that made it unlike any other game that was around.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the chat room right now at the supply Mel. What?
Some sort of spammer.
Yeah, it's
Ignore him.
spam.
Yeah, fucking delete that. There you go. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, there was only just a couple new things that I could really remember being added to Battlefront, like the hero system and what, just... Well, okay, in Battlefront 2 they added the whole space battle situation as well, but I think that was really it.
Space battles were a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gone.
I'm telling... Okay, here's what I'm honestly saying. I get the feeling that it's not gone. It's just going to show up as a later DLC.
Oh, and that's just such a great solution.
Right.
I'm not saying it
sounds
is, I'm
like
just saying it's-
exactly what we sort of are trying to avoid. Great. Good going, EA. You've destroyed another franchise.
And not to mention, I don't remember Battlefield having the same class system that Battlefront 2 did. 'Cause remember in Battlefront 2, you've got your 3 base classes, and then you got the 2 that unlock based on your score.
Right?
Like,
Plus all of the individual modifications and customizations.
yeah, the achievement-based perks, which I've heard show up in later Battlefields, but
Yeah.
I've just been hearing nothing but bad news about the Battlefront beta. Just
Yeah.
a lot
I-
of people saying that DICE and EA ruined making a Battlefield clone. They couldn't even do that right.
Mm-hmm.
If I could step in for a moment, I played the original Battlefront a little bit, and I really did enjoy Battlefront 2. I was one of those crazy guys that loved space combat,
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
and even figured out how to do bombing runs upside down. It wasn't fun, but hey, it became fun. But my whole thing with this new Battlefront is, damn it, EA, why do you have to ruin another thing? I've had my piece with Battlefront, and they just have to go and ruin it because it's EA, and they're run by Emperor Palpatine.
Right. And I mean, how do you justify only 8 maps in total?
Microtransactions.
No,
How
actually,
how do you justify that?
Well, hang on, Seawall. That actually is a thing that they've openly said, that Star Wars definitely is not going to have any microtransactions in it.
Okay.
So they've claimed.
It'll have
It's
Season Pass DLC for sure.
Sure. They're definitely going to have their premium shit on it.
Yep.
For another $30, you won't get locked out of content you already own.
I don't know where they get off with the idea that grenades and sidearms are going to be perks rather than party or actual gear.
If you remember Battlefront 2, you could unlock more advanced weapons that took a lot of skill to get that.
Well, yeah, I'm talking here
Yeah.
in
You get
Battlefront.
those,
have
you
a-
get those in Battlefront. You can unlock
Yeah.
different types of grenades and sidearms and all that sort of shit. It's just a matter of there are also a ton of map-based perks, like, you know, hey, I ran around and suddenly I'm Darth Vader. Okay, neat.
Well,
That's-
that was a thing in Battlefront 2 on certain maps.
Yeah, it was. It was. So that's the one thing that it's got going for it, kind of, sort of. I mean, it's got 8 total maps versus how many were in Battlefront 2? Like 32, 33?
A pretty good amount, if I recall correctly.
I think there were more space-based maps than there were in Battlefront 2 than there were maps in this game.
They also had a higher player limit.
Mhm.
Like,
Yep.
you could have teams up to 32 players, whereas current Battlefront so far is only 20. They dropped the space battles. They removed the ability to mod the game. They've got 5 planned DLC packs, but who knows what's going to come along with those.
Well, one of them I think we know for certain is going to be the Episode 7 worlds.
The tie-in shit, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously. They removed the single-player campaign.
Oh, fuck them. Fuck them hard right up the ass with a rusty wooden spork.
Yeah, they removed Galactic Conquest.
Oh, fuck them.
They removed instant action.
did Battlefront 2 have dedicated servers?
Yes.
Because
Yes.
this one doesn't have dedicated servers.
Yep.
It's as if they looked at everything that was good about Battlefront 2 and just did the opposite.
They could have made a Battlefield reskin. They could have made Battlefront 2 HD edition, but they did neither, and we just get a worse product that nobody will enjoy.
Are you all hearing the dogs spazzing out? In the
Yeah,
background?
we're hearing
Yeah.
the dogs.
Okay, let me.
It's
go,
okay. It's okay.
let
They're
me go
telling
give
us they
them a
hate EA.
microwave ride.
Get the taser!
Use the force. Just gonna do Jedi mind tricks on the dogs now. You don't want to bark.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that, okay, I don't get this new shooter trend where they're all identical. Remember back in the day when shooters were all different in their own ways? You know, you had your Battlefield 1942, which was really fun. And there was the Battlefield games. And there was, you know, the Medal of Honor games that didn't have multiplayer, but they were brilliant single-player games.
Yeah.
What happened to those?
Let's see. Call of Duty 4 came out, and then suddenly everyone wants to be the MLG military shooter.
Okay,
Sounds
when
about
was the
right.
last time we had a World War II based shooter that wasn't Wolfenstein?
Well, that's kind of the problem. Is like a lot of people just kept complaining World War II was just overdone. I was in that camp for the longest time, and I think I'm only
Yeah.
now reaching the point where I'm going like, you know, I think we could
Yeah.
revisit World War II.
Yeah. And hell, you know, for all of its faults, Battlefield Vietnam was a fairly fun game.
I never got a chance to try that one. I only got to try Vietnam in the Bad Company 2 expansion.
Battlefield Vietnam was an add-on to 1942, basically, or kind of. It was based on the same engine, but a little bit upgraded, where you got to use a Vietnam-era weapons and technology, and it had a bitchin' soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Sorry
Yep.
about the wait there. I had to lock the dogs outside.
Uh-oh, you didn't tase them with a taser?
I was thinking of giving the little ones a microwave ride, but then I thought again.
Come on, man, you'd ruin a perfectly good microwave doing
I think Ferret Bomb had a good idea in the chat. You don't
What up?
want to bark. You want to eat this chocolate. Doing some Jedi mind tricks on him.
No mind trick required. Mind tricks don't work. They're fucking stupid.
Oh man.
Yeah. We're kind of going over the nostalgia of the old school shooters, you know, Medal of Honor, Battlefield 1942, you know, kind of the heyday of shooters.
Right.
Before COD, because the thing is, I'll give COD 4 one thing. For its time, very innovative and very interesting game. Very streamlined. And then everyone basically picked it up and beat it until it died, and they just keep beating it.
Right. They're beating it until the money stops falling out of it.
Yep.
And sadly, it doesn't seem like that's going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, of course not.
'Cause
So-
apparently, people are more excited for Black Ops 3 than Fallout 4.
Oh Jesus, really?
Okay, look at the demographics. The hardcore gamers have pretty much abandoned most of those shooter games. A lot of them have, you know, either shifted to some of the games like Fallout 4 and things like the more mixed games, or they're just sticking with the older games. I think there's still a lively 1942 community out there.
Sure. As well, there should be.
Yes, I played on one of those modded maps. It's a little bit crazy. What was
Fair
it?
enough.
Yeah, what is it? I think the Battle of Britain map or something like that. Someone modified it to like increase the German bombers by like 5 times and gave the
Oh
gave
God.
the British bombers too. And it just was this gunships in the sky of death.
Sure.
Also, they included, I think it was like the Japanese landing craft on the German side, so you could like send troops to Britain.
So anyway, there was a couple things I wanted to kind of get in with Battlefront. Deg, which maps did you get a chance to try out? Did you try them all?
Both of them? Yeah.
There was also a third one that was the co-op that was on Tatooine.
Have yet to give that one a try.
It's survival mode. You're not missing too much.
Okay, like horde mode?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, you're not missing too much there, but
That's a cop-out. Like, that's not a fucking map. That's not a mission. It's a fucking mode.
dude, I got some beef with the fucking Hoth map. like hardcore. Like I don't know if you kind of share my same beef with it, but dude,
Rebels get their ass kicked.
Hoth sucks for the rebels.
Well, it absolutely does. The rebels are not supposed to win, Hoth.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think it would be as ridiculous as they make it out to be in the map. So, like, part of my issue with it, and yeah, I get it. Like, you know,
Go watch the movies again.
I get it. It happens canonically.
Like, Hoth kind of sucks for the rebels.
But hear me out. Like, I think part of the really stupid thing about it is, like, a lot of the ship pickups are scattered around the entire map of Hoth, where the fucking Empire just conveniently gets them right where they spawn.
Sure. The Empire also conveniently gets a couple of AT-AT walkers.
Yep. Well, no, also
just so happen to be on rails, by the way. You can't control those when you get in them.
I thought of those to be more like command mode, to be honest with you.
When an older game like Battlefront 2 has a better Hoth mission, you've done failed. I'm sorry. Because I remember the Hoth mission in Battlefront 2.
Yeah?
It turned into, again, kind of, rocket fuel and meth. If you got some really good rebel pilots in those little snow speeders, they could take down the AT-ATs and really make it tough for the.
Okay, all right. See, well,
Empire.
do you want to hear some more kind of bullshit that plays into that? So, all right, here's how the map kind of works out, where it's sectioned off into like sort of 3 different areas for the rebels, because the point is that the rebels have to go to these little what would you call them, outposts, to send coordinates to Y-wings so that they could go on a bombing run to hit the Imperial walkers. Now, when that happens, the Imperial walker starts, you know, shooting off all kinds of electricity about them, and that's supposed to be the time when you actually shoot the Imperial walkers with
like,
blasters.
The shields are busted, so everyone on the rebel team needs to divert their fire over to the walkers while they're still vulnerable.
Whatever happened to, cable tying the legs and then shooting him in the neck?
I'm about to.
Did you think you were actually going to be able to fly one of those?
I played Battlefront 2, man.
Let me get to that, because at the third part, that's when the rebels are able to get on the snow speeders. But here's the thing: they're not going to be able to actually do the cable ties until the fucking Y-wings are bombing the damn thing again. And even then, apparently, because I haven't had a chance to do this myself. It's apparently a quick time event when you're actually trying to when you're actually trying to cable tie the fucking Imperial walkers.
Okay. I've never seen one of these guys in action, but I heard in Battlefront 2 there were these pilots that were so good in the snow speeder that they could switch from pilot turret and cable tie an AT-AT on their own.
Yep.
And you could do this because it was based on the older engine where you could jump between different parts on the vehicle.
Yep.
All willy-nilly.
And it was basically the same story as in like Battlefield 2 when you'd be piloting a chopper, jump into the gunner's spot, fire off a TV missile, kill whatever jet you're aiming at, and fucking get back into the pilot seat.
Yeah.
It's the same deal. It's not hard to do. They made it harder to do in future titles.
Yeah, of course, because it's a little bit of exploitive. So you basically have the one-man bomber that does everything.
Well, now your helicopters just fall from the sky the moment that you leave the pilot seat.
Yeah. Okay. Also, rant nerd alert. Everyone put on your tinfoil Darth Vader helmets.
This is why I kind of wanted him here, because I knew he was going to get into some Star Wars shit.
Okay, expanded universe. Do you know what the biggest weakness in all Star Wars shields is?
No, not... okay, here's what I have to say about the expanded universe. And I think... I know Dan agrees with me. I don't know if Doug will probably agree with me. But when you start getting into the expanded universe, Star Wars kind of gets really stupid fast. The reason why I say that is because, like, one of the things I was just looking up to, like, get some facts for the argument of, like, the Battle of Hoth. Yeah. I was even looking into, like, Luke Skywalker's, like, story and stuff like that. Yeah. And apparently at some point Luke Skywalker was taught to pilot an X-Wing from a Jedi Knight who technically shouldn't exist because Obi-Wan Kenobi, by all stands, according to the movie logic, was the last Jedi.
No, several games have retconned that there were several that survived, and they also alluded to the fact that there were several that survived at the end of the third movie. Plus, you've got the Star Wars Rebels series, which shows there are several still floating out there. Not many, but enough.
They're not all gone. It's just the ones that are left are hiding out.
Yeah. and actually a lot of the Jedi that quote-unquote survived were actually Padawans. But that, again, expanded universe, let's not get into that. But, okay, one thing that's in the expanded universe that is considered pseudo-canon because it's a common fact amongst a lot of the games,
Mm-hmm.
the biggest weakness of all Star Wars shields, if you have any physical object, it will pass through the shields without being harmed in any way, shape, or form. So mass drivers and missiles are the ultimate death of anything in Star Wars. So basically, the cable ties, because they're a physical object, would have bypassed the AT-AT shields.
Sure. Except no.
Yeah, not in this one.
Okay, you can take off your tinfoil Darth Vader hats now.
God, speaking of Darth Vader, man, if there's one thing I could say I actually had fun was actually roaming around with as Darth Vader on the map. Holy shit, Darth Vader kicks ass.
A question: as you kill, do you get basically more time to be Darth Vader?
Yeah, that's the idea behind it. Is like if you get
yeah,
if you get more kills, you get more time, but you can still take damage and you could die if everybody just gangs up on you.
Yeah.
Your health is on a timer, so like it perpetually drops while you're running around, even if you're not taking fire. The only way to really stay as one of these characters is to kill fucking everything.
Yeah. And if you get a good player with that, they kind of do kill everything.
Well,
fucking Darth Vader, man.
Of course they do. I mean, Vader is just silly to play with, because while you're force choking people, if they're not dying fast enough, you can throw your saber at them.
Oh, yeah, I remember that exploit in, what was it, Battlefront 2. If you played as the Emperor, force choke and lightning a bitch.
God, I think... and I only had like one opportunity to try Luke Skywalker, but dude, Luke Skywalker's underpowered as fuck.
I didn't really get the chance to play around with him yet. Like, I sort of gave up on the beta.
I don't blame you. I kind of stuck with
After
it.
a couple of goes, it's like, wow, this really sucks. You mean to tell me the sniper rifle that I pick up has got like a 12-second timer on it?
See, here's the thing I'm wondering too. Like, there's no way in hell that could actually just be the straight-up sniper rifle. Like, they have to at least unlock more shit when the actual game comes out.
Maybe.
No fucking way.
Who knows?
Excuse me, let me go into EA speak here. Yes, you can't get the accent down.
Accent.
Yes, you can get the better weapons, but you must pay us money.
Oh boy.
I see what he was doing there.
It's starting to smell like Godwin's Law up in this bitch.
Yes, we are all, just to get it out of the way, yes, we are all literally worse than Hitler right now.
And
Anyway.
that conversation's over.
Yeah, that's kind of all I got to say about Battlefront. Like, so far, it's lackluster. I found fun in it, but it's not enough to convince me to buy it.
If it was in the hands of a better developer and studio, it would have been decent. But
DICE isn't necessarily a bad developer, or at least they weren't before, they got attached to the all-hanging cock of EA and didn't let go.
Yeah.
Now they're just swinging on that pendulum, trying to wait for a fucking property that's going to pay out quite so well as a property they already had. Whoops, Battlefield.
You want to know the other thing I kind of found, like, really funny with Darth Vader? It seemed like they couldn't even get the fucking actor for Chad Vader to fucking do the voice for him. Because that's the person they always resort to. If they can never get a hold of James Earl Jones, they go to Chad Vader. It doesn't even sound like they got him.
Well, no. What? Why? No.
Hell, Star Wars Rebels got a hold of, I think, James Earl Jones. And that's a cartoon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it helps they've got Disney money behind them now.
That is kind of a point.
Yeah.
So that's our slight rant about Battlefront. I'll probably still play the beta just because it's there until it ends.
You have nothing better to do.
Pretty much. It's there. I have nothing else. Oh man, but yeah, like I really don't. I'm not comfortable recommending it to people. Like they need some hardcore fixes before I could comfortably say, yeah, you should pick it up.
They need to release a lot more content as well for free.
That's not going to happen.
You know, you say that, but I kind of wonder if EA might slowly try doing that. I just got this weird feeling they might be realizing that they're kind of the dicks of the game industry.
They don't care. They have all the shekels. They've got all the shekels.
They've known it for years. I mean, they're still on the path trying to repair their worst company in the world title that they won 2 years running.
That's exactly why, though, I get the feeling that they might consider actually doing some free content.
Too little, too late.
Well, it also, again, EA doesn't really do a lot of that stuff, because the thing is, you guys remember Mass Effect 3 and that bit of that debacle.
Yeah.
It wasn't really EA that did a lot of the bridge mending. It was BioWare that did most of it.
Sure.
All EA did was just not stop them.
Like, here's what EA is giving away. They're giving away Red Alert 2 with Yuri's Revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get that if you get the Command & Conquer first generation pack for like $2 now.
Yeah, no, they're still trying to sell it for 20.
Yeah, I've had the Command & Conquer entire thing.
But I mean, that's what is currently on the house at EA's Origin.
And oh god, they ruined the Tiberium series.
Didn't they
ruined
just?
It so hard.
Didn't they just?
The third one was awesome. Okay, I started out on RTSs. That was my first experience in gaming. A lot of RTSs. Right. Do you know what I loved about Tiberium Wars, the third one? You didn't make a single soldier. You made squads of soldiers. I never understood in games why you only make one Marine. Why not make a squad of them? I know it's technical limitations, and RTS is doing it more and more now, but I always give props to a game.
Pushing the button.
Yeah. Well, no, what I mean is you don't, instead of having like one Marine who's completely ineffective, you build a squad of them for a bit more.
Build a unit, yeah.
Yeah, you build a unit, so.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah. It's just my little personal thing about RTSs.
Doesn't matter because 4 was sadly a thing.
4 never happened. That was for alternate universe. Alternate universe.
It was apparently a universe in which you couldn't build a base.
No. It came from the Nega evil dimension where everyone who doesn't have goatees has goatees, and those who have goatees don't have goatees.
Oh, you mean Bizarro?
Yes.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go now, Seawall.
Okay, I'll see ya.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
No problem. Bye.
Alrighty, with that said, one of the last things I did want to get into what I did this week, I tried that rinse and repeat game that we were talking about.
Rinse and repeat?
Yeah, remember the game we were talking about last week that
oh, yeah,
was banned from Twitch?
Yeah, Yango Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
I gave that a try.
Well, okay.
I don't really know what else to really say. Like, the person I had to rub down in the shower sort of likes me. But the kind of stupid thing about it is, like, apparently you can only do it, like, once a day. And I'm outright saying... Alright, hang on. I'm going to get rid of that spam.
Another one?
Yeah, another one.
Wow.
1 second. There we go. Anyway, as I was saying, so... Fuck, yeah, like... Dude, that game is totally a porn. How can you not say it's not a porn? Like, I was telling you last week, it's softcore porn.
Meh.
Oh, fucking hell.
Maybe I just wanted you to play it and cry about it.
I don't know if I'm crying about it.
Well, no, it sounds like you enjoyed yourself.
A little too much, sadly.
Oh, God.
I need a cold shower.
Another one?
Maybe he can rub me down this time.
Oh, Jesus.
I told you shower with your dad simulator is better.
Well.
The game, Seawall, is rinse and repeat, and I strongly do not recommend you give it a shot. Unless you're into that sort of thing. Then by all means, knock yourself out. But, yeah, there's a fucking reason it's banned on Twitch. And it's because it's a softcore pornography.
LOL.
Anyway, so that's been my week.
Well.
It's been eventful.
A long-ass week.
So shit, I don't know. Dan, is there anything you probably want to cover, or should we start getting into some of the news?
Let's just get on with it.
Yeah.
I can't even see the clock from here, but it can't be very long. It's been going on.
Yep.
I was hoping River would have shown up by now, to be honest with you guys.
Meh. Whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. You have something against bro showering, bro? No, I don't have anything against bro showering. What are you talking about? Fair, are you PC? You PC, bro?
Dude, you PC bro too? UMass.
Oh, fucking A. So, alright, getting on to some of the news topics, and let's start off with some Call of Duty stuff, since we were kind of talking about it earlier.
You mean we were shitting on it loudly?
Yeah, you want to shit on it a little more?
I don't really care.
Well, fuck it.
There's no real information. I mean, all we really know is that it got pulled from the Xbox store,
Yeah.
like the digital versions of the game. But Microsoft and Activision are both not really saying anything about it, aside from, we're trying to work together to get it back up.
Oh no, Activision put out a statement about it. They said that it wasn't their decision to have it removed.
Sure.
So they're putting the blame on Microsoft on this one.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Who
But,
knows what this
that's
is all about.
all the info that we've really got. I mean, there's no updates on that. It just got removed from the Xbox store. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, like the only reasoning I could see behind it is this something to do with Sony's apparent exclusivity contract with Activision, as PlayStation 4 is now the new home of Call of Duty. They're touting that at E3 this year.
Yeah, if that was the point, though, it would have been Activision's call to pull it, not Microsoft's.
Yes, I said that's...
If
it's something to
Microsoft is not
consider.
going to really be in the market to enforce Activision's contracts.
Yeah.
Kind of not their call.
Maybe we'll hear something about it as an update soon. So
Yeah.
we can always put it on Facebook.
I'm wondering if there's some sort of console bundle that Microsoft is going to try and put together with, some new paint job on the Xbox One.
Oh, no doubt. You
I
kidding
mean,
me?
that's what the store says is bundle only right now.
Well, sure, but we don't know what kind of bundle it is yet.
Anyway, moving right along. So, Dan was kind of showing me this earlier today with some shit going on with League of Legends stepping in to against a website, G2A.com.
Oh boy, G2A.
Okay, so you know about this then. So fill me in, because I asked Dan about this earlier, and the way how I saw G2A, it was a website that bought games and just resold them out to you? Or just bought Steam keys, rather?
Yeah. And they usually manage to do that by circumventing regional pricing differences and all that sort of shit, which is why you'll run into situations where you've got, like GOG slash CD Projekt Red basically saying their keys aren't legit. But the big deal with Riot, the thing that Riot has against G2A is that G2A also advertises third-party services that will boost your League of Legends profile rank.
That I did
Yep.
see, and I'm kind of
Whoops.
on the side of League of Legends with that one, to be honest.
Yeah,
Well,
they've
of course. The service, they basically take over your profile and they play online matches until the rank is reached.
yeah, it's something that Riot Games has been against for quite a while. Like mostly on the account of account sharing. They don't. It's an incredible security risk to have people using your username and password to play. It's just a nightmare in support. Like someone saying, "Oh, someone used my account and now all my shit's gone. Please help me."
Yep.
Yeah.
So now Riot is basically saying, hey, if your team is sponsored by G2A, you gotta sever your contract with G2A. You gotta sever all ties with them, or you're not going to be able to play anymore.
Yeah, it's understandable. I was trying to come up with an example when I was explaining it earlier. It would basically be like Celebrity Poker advertising a card counting service, or professional card counter training or something.
Right.
Just
Now, I found it interesting that they had a quote in response to what's going on.
Well, of course they're going to get salty about it.
And the exact quote is basically making note of how Riot has launched an aggressive attack directly towards the entire global esports community in a failed attempt to dominate and control the industry, and is basically calling
Yeah.
up people to, Twitter bomb them with, like, how dare you and shit like that.
Yeah, but that's fucking outright. It's just out and out bullshit. Like, G2A has been shady from the beginning.
So here's the thing that I was actually kind of wondering about before being explained to me about how they bought out games from a poor dollar, if you will, and selling them to a higher dollar, I suppose. Is that grammatically correct?
Not really.
Whatever, you get the idea. What I was honestly wondering is how is this different from like the other sites that do sort of the same thing where they sell out a lot of Steam titles for cheap, like IndieGal, what is it?
Indigala, Humble
Indigala,
Bundle,
Humble
etc. They all actually... Well, I don't know too much about Indigala, but Humble Bundle gets these kind of as, I wouldn't say donations, but at super, super low price points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They might even get a ton of donations from A, the developers of the games, or B, from Valve themselves. Anything where they've got Steam keys and shit available, you know that Valve's got to have a part of it. But it's also not really the way that G2A does business, which is to say buying outside of regions where, the codes were acquired and then selling them at far lower than retail value. Like, G2A is almost gray market.
Okay.
Almost.
Yeah, it's an incredible legal gray area doing that. I mean,
Well, it is in fact circumventing all of the regional... hard to say, like, there's laws in place, but there are laws in place. Like, when you buy products in the US and try to take them elsewhere for the explicit purpose of selling them, if we're talking about physical products and all that sort of shit, you got to deal with customs, you got to deal with, your taxes, your VATs if you're going to Europe, etc. And basically G2A is cutting out all of the middlemen. Like, they'll buy from the lowest possible price point they can, and where part of the failure is that the services that they purchase from, the like Steam keys and all that sort of shit, aren't typically region locked by way of key itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sale is region locked, but the product should work just about anywhere. Except for when it doesn't.
Okay, I see then.
Which is sort of the whole Witcher debacle that G2A had.
Right. And I can definitely see the hate going on in the chat room for G2A. Alright, so right on.
Yeah, like G2A is scuzzy as fuck.
Alrighty, let's see. So, our next thing. Far Cry Primal got revealed. Did anybody get a chance to check out how they decided to reveal that?
No?
Well, from what I've known, they started with a single image. So they had a cave painting and a short teaser they showed, and they ended up having a stream where they showed off the image and kept expanding on it, showing more and more of this cave painting.
Right.
But then at that point, apparently one of IGN's international branches,
The Turkey branch, I believe.
they jumped the gun and announced the project ahead of the live streamed reveal of it.
Oops.
Kind of spoiling the surprise. But yeah, Ubisoft ended up redoing that stream and then revealing their trailer for a Far Cry Primal. So it'd be a brand new Far Cry game based on I don't want to say Stone Age, but it's like very low tech, low civilization Far Cry game. You're running around with spears and bows.
Kill
During
10
the
prehistoric
ice-
rhinos to increase your quiver size.
It's
I mean, it's just gonna be another fucking kind of boring Far Cry experience.
not gonna have the same flair as Blood Dragon did.
No, it's not like a side thing or an expansion. It's an entirely new game.
None of them really had the flair that Blood Dragon did.
Yeah.
Blood
Blood Dragon
is
took
special.
Far Cry 3 and it made it fun. That's
It
sort of
really
the point.
did.
Like, I kind of wish that they did some sort of Kung Fury tie-in with Far Cry 4, but they never did.
Oh god, that would be fucking brilliant.
Maybe they were waiting on getting, like, dinosaurs and shit modeled in.
Ubisoft, please make this happen.
Yeah, could you imagine Pagan Min executing the Kung Fuhrer and taking his place?
Oh man.
That Crab Rangoon, though.
So, alright, our next little thing right here is actually talking about Cyberpunk 2077, and I was wanting to ask you, Dad, because I know Cyberpunk started off as a pen and paper.
Mhm.
I was wondering if you could maybe fill in some of the key differences between that and maybe Shadowrun, besides the fact there's no magic.
Can't really. I'm not terribly familiar with the Cyberpunk
Huh.
thing. I mean, I've got the book laying around that I never read. Should find that somewhere.
We need to learn.
Like, it's somewhere in here. Like, the interesting thing to me is that they revealed it in 2012, like, before The Witcher 3 was out, like, before we saw anything about it at E3, mind you. Because we went there in, what, 2014?
Yes.
And so, like, they've been working on this for 3 years already? Interesting. It is going to be much larger than The Witcher 3.
That's definitely the boast that's going on right now.
They've said they've learned a lot from Witcher 3. They're going to put a lot to good use to make Cyberpunk 2077 even better.
I'm hoping they do. The Witcher 3 was amazing.
Yep, I have faith that they'll come up with something good. They're not one of those developers to disappoint yet.
Well, right. Then again, we have yet to see how they handle projects of this scope in this sort of universe. I mean, I'm sure they'll manage.
I'm sure they'll be able to do something better than Star Wars Battlefront.
Well, obviously.
Wait a second. I'm reading Farabomb in the chat right now, who's helping me out, like kind of understand like Cyberpunk is actually a lot more of a clunky and awkward system compared to Shadowrun. But what's this about a fucking rock star in the party? Wow, that's interesting. So is the rock star supposed to be like the party bard then at that point?
Lol.
The wait 30 seconds to get that answer.
Well, he's talking about 2020, which, yeah, the tabletop for 2020 was awkward. Like, the whole rule set was awkward. But the universe, like the background story, was interesting enough to, keep a whole slew of people interested, including a lot of people at CD Projekt Red, so we'll have to see where they go with it.
God, this just still makes me sad. I'm never gonna get a World of Darkness game.
Lol.
I'm not letting that pain go.
Okay, we'll dwell on it then.
I am.
Alright.
And I hope to God it gets fucking done.
Lol.
Recognize my pain, damn it.
Don't
okay.
care.
Alright, here we go. Here's our explanation. So the Rockstar is like the face. You could have good ones, but 9 out of 10, they suck. But they always, they were always that one guy.
There was. Yeah. Okay. I suppose.
Fair, if you got a story, please, if you can, call in and share it with us. I need to hear this. If you can, dude.
It might require more setup than we've got time, really.
Probably. So let's go ahead and start cranking it through some of the rest of the stuff. And this starts getting into a lot of the microtransaction stuff I mentioned earlier that Dan wanted to get into.
Oh yeah, this has just been a week for me to get up in arms about something. I mean, we had last week where they said next Assassin's Creed game is going to have microtransactions. Then we've got Destiny saying that their new expansion is going to include emote microtransactions.
Uh-huh.
We've got new microtransactions added to Metal Gear Solid 5, which allow you to basically purchase insurance on your resources in Mother Base.
Right.
As well as a few more extra DLC costumes, and it just fit like this isn't something I can really ignore, or something I can just let go. As long as any time that we decide that $60 full retail games and with microtransactions is an okay thing to have and something not worth arguing about, then that's when the developers win. That's when they see it's something that's okay.
Right.
It's
Right.
just
You know there's going to be a lot of derps that are going to give Eva $1 for unzipping.
yeah.
Doesn't it actually hold like a strategic value though?
Yeah, it doesn't say I couldn't find anything on specifically what it does, but they're advertising giving you a quote-unquote tactical advantage.
The tactical advantage is the nerd boys looking at tits, dude, really? That's what the tactical advantage is. You're not actually getting anything, it's just the costume.
Oh boy, here comes the next thing to piss off the third wave.
I don't, what it should be doing is pissing off the consumers. Like, we shouldn't have to put up with full retail games that nickel and dime us after our huge purchase.
Right.
It's like, I don't care what kind of budget you have to make up. If you feel like you need to justify adding microtransactions to your game, how about you start with a smaller budget? You don't need to have $100 million advertising budgets. You don't need to hire Robert Downey Jr. for your commercials. You don't
How about
need
you
to have
appropriately spend the budget that you have, Kojima?
Don't need to fucking cross promote products.
Don't need to spend $2 million in music licensing just to not use the songs in the game.
Yeah, just fucking like I wish we had the budget to put T-shirts out there. I want one. It's like Uncle Deg says, "Vote with your wallet." But seriously, that's like the best way I can put it. Don't buy into these games that are going to nickel and dime you afterwards. Like, even if it's not something you're going to end up purchasing, it's not something you should have to put up with seeing in your games.
Right.
I mean, I could keep ranting about it, but that's about all I've got. A consumer shouldn't have to put up with it, so developers need to spend their money better. Or I should say publishers need to spend their money better, because they're the ones that overblow these budgets. So yeah. That's all I have to say on that matter.
I think publishers shouldn't even advertise a game until they've got it fucking ready to go.
Then what would anyone show at E3?
What they have up to that point.
Yeah.
Like, show me the game itself. I don't want to see your bullshit cutscene nonsense. Like, show me the game.
Man, I wish there was something we could do about that in this day and age. Fucking hype culture.
Nah, that's just gonna take mass murder, the likes of which I'm too lazy to follow through with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Right. I'm trying to remember if there was anything else to kind of cover with the microtransactions.
Nothing important, really.
Yeah, like to be honest, the only other thing we really have here, like in terms of like other stuff going on with Metal Gear, is that they're introducing like the insurance policy for your FOBs.
Yeah, I
We
mentioned
talked about
that. It's
that.
a
Yeah.
microtransaction. Like, I know, same time this week, Valve introduced more microtransactions into Team Fortress 2, but hell, that's a free-to-play game. They have to make their money somewhere with that.
Right. They made enough.
Yeah, I'm sure they made enough, which is why they now sell microtransactions that fund community content creators.
Which
Right.
honestly isn't really that big of a problem in my eye.
The only problem with that is when it comes down to how much of a cut Valve gets out of it.
That's true.
Like, that's the one problem I had with the compendiums for Dota 2. Like, sure, they were something designed to help fund the prize pool for Dota 2's international tournament, but 75% of all purchases on those compendiums went straight into Valve's pocket.
Oh lord, Cheo's got something horrible to show us since we're talking about microtransactions.
Oh boy.
Direct message me and I'll see if we can bring it up on the show. Anyway, moving right along. So, guys, remember that whole strike that we were talking about that might wind up happening?
Yep.
Well, negotiations didn't really work out too well, so that strike's kind of going on.
Oh, well, no, they haven't started a strike yet. Their board has they've voted, and with a overwhelming majority, they have voted to strike if the negotiations fall through.
Yeah.
They're still
Cynic in me says that's code talk. Negotiations didn't work. That's, again, cynic in me. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sign that they're definitely ready for negotiations not to go through.
Sure.
It's like, I've seen a lot of talk on this, and I agree with a lot of people. Like, honestly, this is more power to them, because it's mostly just going to hurt the AAA publishers.
It's going to hurt every developer that wants to hire a known actor.
Yeah, mostly, yeah, it's the AAA people that can hire these all-star casts, and
The problem here is that it's going to lock the AAAs. If they're going to hire one all-star cast member, the entire cast has to be all-star. That's kind of how SAG does it. It's like, you can't hire non-union talent if you're going to be using union talent.
Holy mother of God!
What?
Okay, so Sheo direct messaged me the hellish site that I need to see, and it was Train Simulator, right?
What?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it? The Train Simulator 2016 Steam Edition. And again, the reason why she brought this up is because we were talking about microtransactions, and Deg, you know what? Without looking, take a wild guess on how much the game or all the DLC for the game cost. Just ballpark it.
Train Simulator. Is this from the people who brought us, like, Euro Truck Simulator?
Yep.
Oh boy.
We got a car down for $3,000. Go ahead.
All parking DLC on.
Wait, hold on.
trains.
Let's play the Price is Right with this shit.
Okay, go ahead.
Everyone gets their own bid. I'm gonna go with 1120.
1120. We have a car down for $3,000. We have Ferret Bomb down for 3,700.
I'm gonna shoot for the moon. $5,000.
$5,000. Actual retail price $5,000. $252.59.
No way.
Way.
Holy shit.
Fucking way, dude.
$5,252.59. Is that correct?
That is correct. This is what I am looking at right now on the Steam page. Looking
Okay.
at all DLC in the cart.
Let me go look at this.
Like, yeah, I know that's something that these simulator games are notorious for, especially Train Simulator.
Holy
They have
fuck?
so much content they can add to it. It's like, I've never played one of these games, so I don't know what the full game is like. So
What the fuck?
it's a joke among PC gaming, to be honest. Is like at that extreme level, people just consider it a joke. Like,
Oh my
people, it's
god.
like, oh, I just got my tax return. What should I buy? Train Simulator and all its DLC.
What the fuck?
Dag, what kind of a computer could you buy with that money?
Mine, and then some.
2 of them, right?
No.
Ah, you could probably buy something that has 2 GTX Titans in it.
Oh, fucking hell.
Holy shit, that's ridiculous.
Yep. And
It's
that's
not
why I
by
don't-
the people who made Euro Truck Simulator.
Really?
I just assumed they had that as a whole franchise.
Nah. This is Dovetail Games.
Well, apparently they have enough people buying at least the retail game to make a profit. Keep making
Well,
these games.
it looks like they've got a bunch of individual trains for like $20, but then they've got like different routes for like $40. Oh my god. So I guess like no, I can't come up with any sort of way to justify any of this.
I don't fucking know either, to be honest.
There has to be a story behind this. Like, I don't know what their thoughts are.
Well, okay, hang on. In the chat room, Peachy is giving us a decent answer. That could be it. Is that railroad companies are really tight about their names, so they want people to pay the extra buck to use their right kind of deal?
I suppose.
I could buy that, to be honest.
no, you couldn't.
Well, okay, yeah, no, I
Not
can't
for
literally
$5
buy it. I'd believe it. Oh, fucking hell. Alright, so that kind of sidetracked us from the whole strike situation. I'm saying it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and we're going to be guilted into feeling bad for buying out some games.
That
I don't know.
I just want to see EA and Activision have to pay up for it.
I just don't even.
Let's hope that the SAG-AFTRA gets some of the demands they're looking for. Like, the bonus thing is contested on both sides, but having a stunt coordinator on for performance capture projects and limiting stressful voiceovers to 2 hours. Like, yeah, Jason, you've been telling me a lot of times that you heard that David Hayter really got really sore and screwed up from doing Old Snake, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Nah, he blew his voice out several times.
I'm pretty sure he
Yeah.
fucked himself up in Peace Walker doing, like, gravelly fucking Snake, too. Because he had to actually, like, fucking sound like he had phlegm in his throat that entire time.
Right.
I mean, I've heard similar things of Mark Hamill doing the Joker. I mean, like, I agree with that. If you're gonna have something that's an incredibly odd vocal range or incredibly weird voice, and yeah, you gotta give them a break. You can't have them throwing their voice out. That's their job right there.
Well, right. I mean, if they blast their voice out, then they can't work anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like
Maybe that's the secret of getting new talent. Because I remember you were bringing that up last week, Dag. Or not last week, but the week before.
What? Just make people blow their shit out and
So
hire
they
you to
so
take over?
they have to look for new talents.
Yeah, but then you'd have the union suing for damages.
That's true.
Right.
Alright, so
Damages. Oh no, you had to shut up for a week.
let's go ahead and move on to our next thing. And I have someone that wants to call in.
Oh.
And then we'll go ahead and take that call after this story.
Alright.
And this one's a bit of a doozy to follow up with. Because there's a lot of back
You
reading.
didn't read the entire thing, huh?
Could you?
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I've been just hearing the bits and pieces of it. It's like, I didn't read the articles involved, but I've been hearing about all the fallout.
So, to kind of cover what we're talking about, is that bottom line, there is as Doug put it, a cease and desist being labeled out there from Cloud Imperium to the escapists because of some, as they put it, liable claims.
Well, so there are a couple of sides to the story here. Derek Smart is a previous employee of Cloud Imperium Games, and for whatever reason they split apart, and he's been trashing them on Twitter and on his own blog and blurdy blur, basically calling the game into question. He has pretty regularly been critical of the company and the development of Star Citizen. I mean, he's put out several large blog posts effectively saying that there's no way at this scale this game will ever be made for this small amount of money, blurdy blur.
Yeah, I think there was something in one of his blog posts about a lot of people saying that it's like, we're professionals, we know what needs to be done to get a game out, but
Right.
there's a difference between doing what needs to be done and doing what makes... I keep forgetting his name, the current head of Cloud Imperium.
Chris Roberts.
Making Chris Roberts happy. Yeah, either way, these blog posts caught the attention of the Escapist. They
Yep.
initially put out an article about it that begs the question of whether or not Star Citizen is going to fall apart as a project. And like, flash forward about a week or two, they put out an article that it accounts the tales of Cloud Imperium employees who supposedly wish to remain anonymous.
No, they never will, because Smart is fucking plastering their names all over the fucking Twitter sphere.
Yeah, it's like recounting harsh conditions and how terrible it is working on this project.
Right.
It's like, and then Cloud Imperium, they've had enough of this. They're between Smart and Escapist, they're dragging their name through the mud.
Right.
And, like, their lawyers go as far as like suing the Escapist for libel.
They haven't sued anyone yet.
Oh, well, I heard they were suing, but they are, like you said, they are offering that cease and desist because all of these claims are unsourced and they are not divulging the names of people. So for all they know, for all Cloud Imperium knows, they're making people up and making up these stories. We'll never know.
Well, effectively what they're saying is that, like, the Escapist made themselves a mouthpiece of Derek Smart without first vetting him. And that makes sense. Like, they didn't do any sort of diligence
Yeah.
before they aired this potentially damning story.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, it was very reminiscent of the stories we saw, like, I think a month or two ago about the people working at Konami and their terrible tales. Like, it's sounding a lot like that, but again, they don't have... It's like they haven't really done the due diligence to prove whether these people are legit or if they're just people that Smart is working to try to help defame Cloud Imperium even more. So yeah, it's just a lot of bad blood going on with that.
Definitely seems so, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen continuing on.
We'll just have to see.
Yeah, all we got to do is just like, here, this is what's going on, folks, and we're keeping an eye on this shit.
Right. I mean, if it eventually ends up in court, then we'll have as much factual information as anybody else. Until that point, it's basically like Derek Smart is shitting on the head of Chris Roberts. Chris Roberts is turning it around and throwing it back at him, and it's fucking high school all over again.
I almost kind of want to see if we could reach out to Derek Smart to at least hear like his side of it.
I don't want to involve myself with that guy at all.
We'll see what happens. If for whatever reason our 12 viewers can manage to reach out to either Chris Roberts or Derek Smart, it'd be certainly interesting to at least hear what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I have a long list of people I'd want to reach out to first, to be honest.
Fair point. Like
I mean, like, either way, like, we were talking a long, long time ago about, you know, this game is likely not going to to come out in any reasonable time frame because they keep adding shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks too because it really is a type of game I want to see happen.
Sure.
Yeah, but hopefully it doesn't turn out to be the reverse Spore.
Yeah. Anyway, so I said we were going to go ahead and take a call, so I want to go ahead and add him real quick.
Okay. It just, ugh.
So let's see if we got him here. Hey, Dysfunctional.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you pretty good. Got a bit of a mic feed going on there. You think you can turn that down a little?
Yeah, 1 sec. Is that better?
Oh, that's much better already.
All right, very good. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty
okay.
good. So you said you wanted to go ahead and, since we were talking about, like, Shadowrun and stuff like that, you wanted to call in to talk about it?
Yeah, I want to
Oops.
maybe get y'all guys' opinion on this, and maybe get some of the listeners' opinions too. If I see there's a couple of people in the chat there, and I've been in the chat a little bit myself. I've played Shadowrun a little bit, but not a whole lot. I kind of want to get your opinion on maybe I know that you're not supposed to follow, like, there are a lot of people that seem to want to follow all the rules, and I've heard that you're really not, I mean, you can do it that way, but you really need to use, like, discretion on which rules you follow, especially 5th edition. The little bit of Shadowrun 5th edition I played, it seems like everybody I played with wanted to follow every single rule, and some of the rules are a bit convoluted.
Sure.
What do you guys think about that?
I think every tabletop game is going to involve quite a bit of GM discretion. Following all of the rules in the book, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're playing AD&D or if you're playing 3.5 or if you're playing Pathfinder, even though Pathfinder might be one of the easiest laid out there where you can follow every rule. To Shadowrun, to Fusion, like Champions, for instance, everything is going to have a layer of convolution involved to it, and it's really up to the GM and the anal retentiveness of the players as far as following every single printed rule or not.
I understand that, but do y'all kind of agree, maybe at least in some sections, that I just kind of wanted to, you know, maybe vent a little, share my opinion, see what you guys think, kind of thing. But maybe some of the rules are a bit over the top. For example, have you guys read the explosives? Just an example, there are a few different ones, but if I could, do you mind if I read real quick the explosives just to give you kind of idea
Sure.
for those who maybe not play Shadowrun? It says, each hit on a demolitions plus logic mental test adds 1 to the explosive's effective rating, and explosive damage is calculated as its rating, modified by the demolitions test if you made one, times the square root. First off, I've never heard of
What?
square roots for some of these things.
All right.
Times the square root of the number of kilograms used, rounded down. The blast value for a circular explosion is -2 per meter, while the blast value for a directional explosion up to 60 degrees in a specific direction is -1 per meter. When they're attached directly to a target, the target's armor value is halved. Otherwise, the explosive has an AP value of -2. Is it just me, or some of these a bit maybe like unnecessary? Like, seems like they kind of on purpose made it confusing and a bit too much. Just to say, look, we can do this.
So here's my general rule of thumb with pen and paper gaming. If you need a calculator to play the game, find a new system.
It's like, wait,
That's kind of my point too. Is I understand there are people that really like this system, and I like parts of it for a while, but after a little while, especially with these newer GMs, they want to follow the rule book like page by page.
Well,
And-
sure, and a new GM should do that, but they got to keep in mind, as Fairbomb put it in the chat, a GM that lets the rules get in the way of a good story or a good set piece is a shitty GM.
Exactly. It seems that it's kind of a common issue. I mean, I haven't played a whole lot, but as far as I've played, it seems like it's kind of a big issue that, like, why would they even put this in the book is kind of my view.
Well, yeah, I would need time to read back over that to figure it exactly how it would make sense. I'm sure there's method to it.
But that's just kind of my main gripe with Shadowrun 5e. I mean, I haven't played any of the other versions. Are they similar or different? Is 5e more complicated than the others, or?
I'm gonna seed point over to Akari on this one.
Either that, or I wonder if we should try and get Seawall back in here, because he could definitely answer that in a heartbeat.
Akari says, "Put down the 5th edition book, chum."
See, that's kind of what I was kind of thinking the same thing after a while, especially when you get these new people. It's like a new group. You got a new GM, new players. Everybody wants to learn the system, but it's a bit user unfriendly, kind of a.
Sure.
Especially when, as new players, like you said, you should try to play by the book as much as you can until GMs develop their own style and everything.
Seawall heard me. He's calling it. Why not? We'll get this real quick, and then we'll pound through our last stories and start wrapping it up.
Hello, I'm back apparently.
Yeah. All right. So
Back, apparently.
we have a guy here that's asking some Shadowrun stuff.
He's asking about 5th edition.
5th edition is right now is similar to 4th edition when I was young. It needs several more books before it's worth playing.
So explain explosives.
4th edition has the same problem. There's a square root involved.
Huh. All right.
And also, all of the rolls are secret in demolitions in Shadowrun, because you got to, in certain cases, you got to estimate how much explosive you got, and if you roll the right amount, you get it perfect. If you don't, you're either above or below what you need, and the GM flips a coin basically.
So how new or old is Shadowrun 5th edition?
Shadowrun 5th edition, I think, started out last year, 2014, the year of Shadowrun or something like that.
Okay, so it's still pretty much in its infancy, you might say then.
Yeah.
I can't remember, what one was it? Hold on. Okay, Shadowrun 5e release here.
We're getting some live fact checking here, folks.
Yes. Okay, so edition, 5th edition, PDF only, was actually, okay, yeah, here we go. 5th edition was 2013, was September 2013. So that was the year of Shadowrun, as they called it. Yeah, but the thing is, there was a bit of material released a bit before, actually, no, right after it. But yeah. Yeah, there were 2 books that were released that are both 4th and 5th edition, so a little confusing. But yes. But they give stat blocks for everything on both sides. But
So I mostly play on, well, I only play on Roll20, which is a bit of a crapshoot, some of you might notice.
I've got stories.
Yeah. But if I were to join another Shadowrun game, what edition would you likely recommend that people actually play still? Because I know some editions people might not play.
Well, I know Dag here definitely would be a strong advocate for a 2nd edition.
2nd or 3rd. 3rd's probably going to end up being the way to go.
Catalyst. That's pre-Catalyst, so.
And it doesn't have as much, it's not as convoluted as 5th is?
I think they're all just convoluted as each other. It's Shadowrun. It's always been convoluted.
So I'd probably be better off playing something like Edge of the Empire or something.
I haven't touched it, to be completely honest.
It's pretty fun. It's the Star Wars one, or one of the Star Wars ones at least.
I've heard about it, yeah. Unfortunately, Shadowrun games are few and far between.
Yeah, I seem to have noticed that too.
And I've seen only 5th edition games, which I've read 5th edition and I'm liking some of the things they're doing, but that's because I'm a guy that played 4th edition. And but the problem is they messed with my weapon mods, man. They got rid of so many modifications. I can't make the collapsible sniper rifle that can get through security anymore.
Yeah, I think if I ever played another 5th edition Shadowrun game, I'd make sure that the people I play with know their roles. Because that's another big issue I had was playing the game. It seemed like certain people, especially people that play like a Technomancer or another Matrix user, if they don't know, if they haven't read the rules and really understand them, it can take a long time to get there. Even in combat, even their 6-second turn can take 30 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah.
I feel like I suffered, or was a offender of that somewhat.
Yeah.
All right, well,
That's
thanks
like-
for letting me
Hopefully
call
I
in,
got
guys.
better.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, cool. Thanks for calling in, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, feel free to call in again another time.
Will
I'm
do. Have
gonna
a good one, guys.
disappear since my expertise is no longer needed.
All right.
I know Dr.Captain there has been trying to want me to call in, so I've been trying to find a way I could.
I want everyone to
that I know
call in.
about.
If I ever could, I want every single person in the chat room right now to call in.
That's
That would be a
like-
fucking
Oh, God,
unmitigated
chaos.
clusterfuck.
Not at the same time, one by one.
I'll see you guys later. Don't kill
Have
each
a good
other.
one, guys.
All
I'll
right.
be listening in.
Thank you. And we'll get you out. There we go. So that was cool. Remember, you too can reach us at Good Game Guys 1.
I honestly miss
But
like,
tonight-
that conversation.
Yeah, but tonight we'll go ahead and probably start wrapping things up with some pretty fucking amusing as hell stories of people getting busted hard and the games in, well, not the game industry, but just game related stuff that got them busted.
Using to you.
Oy.
I find it amusing. Fuck you. Like, come on. How can you not find it funny that a guy gets caught selling his old Sega Genesis full of crystal meth?
Right.
Come on, that's funny as hell.
Well, I mean, that's just Georgia for you.
Or Florida, man.
Oh, fucking hell. Like, how the fuck did he come up with the idea of putting, like, crystal meth in the game receiver? Did he think Sonic would move faster because of that shit?
Gotta go fast. Apparently, he didn't realize that he had more money in drugs in his console than the console was worth. He was probably pawning his console to go and buy more drugs. Just putting it out there.
Oh,
I
God.
wonder if that was like his last words before he got arrested. It's like, shit, that's where my stash was.
Right? Damn, I killed Tyrone over that.
Oh, fucking hell. I love stupid criminals like this. Oh, man. Shit like that gets funny. So, moving on to something that might be a little bit more serious as far as crime is concerned. So, they actually caught one of the guys that's been going around swatting people.
Alright.
Let's see if I can try and get this guy's name here.
Matthew Tullis.
Yeah, and you know, I want to treat chat here real quick. Let's throw up his mugshot in the hitbox.
Lol.
Let's see if we can get that up there. Ah, damn it, too big. Well, shit. All right, we'll go ahead and just throw up
So
the link there so people can check it out.
This kid basically swatted his own school. He swatted high school.
There you go, chat. Check that shit out.
They're making fun of him too much.
Oh, I guess so.
Weren't you saying earlier that this guy looks an awful lot like fucking Cleveland Jr.?
That's what my first thought was seeing that picture. I'm like, hey, if he was a shade or two darker, that'd be real life Cleveland Jr.
But Dad, I just wanted to make them all pay.
Now, Junior, how are you ever gonna get out of silver if you keep swatting people and not playing your game?
Oh my God.
So he was sentenced to 12 months and 1 day in federal prison.
And he also, after when he is released, is going to be... shit, the story disappeared.
Oh, yeah. 3
but he
years
was-
of parole and 300 hours of community service.
Yep.
Hmm.
That's definitely kind of a light sentence right there in regards to the whole swatting situation, because, let's be honest, it is still a pretty fucking dangerous thing to do out there.
Whoa, well, light nothing. This guy's a fucking convicted felon. He can never own a gun. He can never vote. Like felonies fuck you up for the rest of your life.
Not to mention 300 hours is a lot of community service.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's doable, but you're going to be doing it for a couple of years.
yeah. It's like if you get like 5 hours on the weekends, yeah, it's going to take you like a year or two.
See, what they should have done to this guy is what they wrongfully did to Kevin Mitnick, which is to say you cannot use, as part of the terms of your parole, you cannot use any electronic device.
No. Ikari's trying to get your attention right there, man.
Let's see. Look at this paste. Lol. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, like, for everybody out there who's checking this out, and I'll probably post this in the YouTube description so other people can open this up, because I understand if you're really lazy to pause the video and just type out the entire thing. I get it.
You really need to work on those YouTube descriptions, though.
I kind of do.
I think the last video you had was labeled under travel and leisure.
Was it?
What?
What?
Yeah. So the last video uploaded was under travel and leisure.
Oh my god,
Wow,
I gotta fix
fail
that
hard.
shit.
It's like, do we become the good vacation guys?
We don't make that kind of money,
God, wouldn't that be fucking nice?
right?
Fucking A.
Yeah, so this week, what'd you guys do with your week? Oh, I went to Aruba.
I'm in what's left of the Bahamas, just here to shit on EA.
Oh god.
So it's like more Metal Gear Solid 5 microtransactions, and here in Italy, people are pissed off about it.
Oh man. Alright, so I think
That's almost as amusing as it is sad.
kind of
Almost.
is. Anyway, alright, we're gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Remember, you can check out some of the stories that we don't necessarily get to by heading over to our Facebook account. You can locate that just by scrolling down if you're listening live by hitting that button right there with the Facebook icon. It
Right?
totally takes you to different places, man. Check it out.
All sorts of buttons down there.
Hell, it's on the screen too. Just look it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people know how to follow us by now.
I hope so, because those numbers sure haven't been rising.
Lol. Well, there you go, talking about metrics on the air again.
Good job.
I'm looking at you, chat. Anyway,
Dumb shit.
moving right along. So, this is Dr. Captain.
Yeah, I'm dead.
And I'm the NPC.
And fuck it, I'll speak on behalf of the loud kid. This is Good Game Guy saying, good game, everyone!